repeatedly asked him to admit that his boat had entered Japanese waters, but he refused to do so. Mondalam reports.
Home at last. Fishing boat captain Zhang Qixiong was reunited with his wife and son after he arrived in Fuzhou on a chartered flight. Also welcoming him back were officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Fujian provincial government. The 41-year-old skipper said after his arrest, Japanese authorities repeatedly asked him to admit that he had entered Japanese waters. But Zhang insisted he had done nothing wrong.
The
DIAOYU Islands are part of China, he said, so it's legal for me to fish there. But it's illegal for the Japanese to arrest me, he added. Following his return, authorities arranged for the skipper to receive a medical check. Zhang's trawler collided with two Japanese patrol vessels near the disputed islands on September 7th. Japanese authorities accused him of fishing in the area illegally, and he was detained at a police station in Okinawa. It was only yesterday that Japanese prosecutors announced Zhang would be released. The captain's mother was relieved the ordeal is over. Mrs. Zhang also says she will support her son to fish near the DIAOYU Islands in future. It's a matter of survival for us, she explained. All the crew members rely on him to make a living. Decorations are up at Zhang's village to celebrate his return. Lam, TVB News.
China today demanded an apology and compensation from Japan after Tokyo released Zhang Qixiong. Japan has rejected the demand, calling it unacceptable. And as James Lagilia explains, the Japanese government is facing intense criticism over the release domestically.
Japanese Prime Minister Nato Kan called for calm discussions between China and Japan in the wake of the latest diplomatic spat. He spoke on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly session. Both countries, Kan said, have crucial international responsibilities. Kan didn't directly address how Sino-Japanese ties would be affected. Prosecutors in Okinawa said yesterday that ties with China were considered in the decision to free fishing boat captain Zhang Qixiong. That's given rise to speculation that the Japanese government may have influenced the decision. Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshito Sengoku stressed the decision to free the captain was made by prosecutors alone. But the leader of the opposition Liberal Democratic Party, Sadakazu Tanigaki, expressed doubt about that and harshly criticized the ruling Democratic Party of Japan for having caved in to China. Some members of the ruling coalition are also unhappy, including a senior official of the People's New Party, who said the release undermines Japan's security interests. Meanwhile, Japanese newspapers today were equally as harsh, warning the release gave the impression that Tokyo would yield in future to pressure by Beijing. James Lagilia, TVB News.
U.S. President Barack Obama and Southeast Asian leaders have sent China a firm message over territorial disputes between Beijing and its neighbors, calling for freedom of navigation in seas that China claims as its own. At a meeting in New York, Obama pledged to take a strong role in regional affairs, something welcomed by leaders in the fast-growing region. Obama and the 10-member association
朝早就買定啲麵線翻嚟，話要煮翻啲家鄉菜，等細佬翻嚟食。
是啊，就回來好運咯，就得吃一點麵線咯。
喺下晝，當地嘅居委會、詹其雄嘅好友同中親會等送咗多個代表祝賀嘅吹氣拱門，放咗喺詹家門口，亦都以英雄嚟形容佢，話歡迎佢翻嚟祖國。 詹其雄呢，而家同太太同個仔呢，仍然都喺福州㗎。咁有最新嘅消息，我哋會再為大家報道。咁先交翻俾香港。
好啊，唔該晒，吳小文。詹其雄雖然獲釋啦，翻中國，不過中日之間嘅爭拗仍然持續嘅。外交部要求日本就撞船事件道歉同埋賠償。日方呢已經係拒絕啦，認為中方呢啲要求毫無根據，完全唔能夠接受。李建生報導。
福建漁船船長詹其雄星期六凌晨返到福州後，中國外交部隨即發表聲明。日本內務省發言人佐藤五就喺當日下晝作出回應，中方要求日方道歉賠償。佐藤話要求係完全不能接受同毫無根據嘅。中方又重申釣魚島係中國固有領土，日方亦都堅持佢哋稱之為尖閣諸島嘅地方係佢哋嘅固有領土。 中方又指扣押漁民漁船嘅行動同司法程序係非法同無效嘅， 佐藤就話，日方係根據當地法律行事。不過雙方最後都提出幾乎一樣嘅論點，就係指中日雙方發展戰略互惠關係嘅重要性。中方同時呼籲要透過對話協商解決問題，維護兩國關係大局。有日本內閣官員透露，釋放詹其雄可能存在政治考慮，但首相菅直人早前離開紐約聯合國大會時就話，檢察廳係出於全面考慮，決定釋放詹其雄，否認政府施壓。
I understand that prosecutors comprehensively took into account the nature of the incident and solemnly followed domestic law.
菅直人話：兩國係重要鄰國，有必要進一步發展戰略互惠關係。放人嘅決定引起在野黨強烈批評，認為係向中國屈服。自民黨質疑政府所講放人係檢察廳單獨做嘅決定，眾人之黨就話有意喺國會嚴厲追究政府嘅責任。有線電視記者李健生報導。
中國民間保釣聯合會會長童增話：中國政府處理今次事件並唔係外間所指責嘅咁軟弱，又話理解政府限制反日示威嘅做法。黃麗萍喺北京報導。
中日發生撞船事件後，內地民間反日情緒高漲，但示威活動就一直受到政府控制。有批評話政府對日態度軟弱，但童增就覺得係最強硬嘅一次。
中國政府辦事情呢，它是什麼呢？它是一般不提前放風，它就是一步按照計劃走，比較實在。但是呢，它這種你走下去哦，它就不回頭，不可能。像日本，它就什麼呢？宣稱了再扣押10年，他就回頭了。
同05年反日示威唔同，今年918民間保釣聯合會並冇企出嚟組織遊行。童增話係因為當局擔心遊行會好似05年咁，最終演變成反政府示威。佢哋理解當局嘅憂慮，所以亦都願意配合。童增由91年開始提出要以民間嘅方式追討日本嘅戰爭賠償，被稱為中國民間對日殺賠第一人。佢話：年輕人唔應該全身投入保釣運動。
首先一個要有一個正當的職業，你做生意也可以一個正當的工作，你起碼說你生活上要有自己的保證，不要出現什麼呢？那種職業革命啊！
有線電視記者黃麗萍喺北京報導。
香港同內地警方聯手偵破一個跨境電話詐騙集團，拉咗5個香港人。咁警方就唔肯透露有幾多受害人，但係就話涉及嘅金額達到2300萬。鄧允芝報導。
警方喺行動中檢獲150幾張提款卡、160個銀行戶口網上理財密碼機、10幾部手提電話同埋電腦。
警方喺行動入面檢獲14張假嘅香港智能身份證同埋回鄉卡，騙徒就係利用呢啲假嘅證件去銀行開戶口。
警方唔肯透露案件涉及幾多受害人，只係話大部分受害人都係內地人，其中一個受害人係重慶人。騙徒假扮電力同埋電信公司職員打電話俾佢，話佢冇交月費，令佢懷疑身份俾人盜用咗。之後，騙徒假扮公安，再打電話俾佢，話佢個銀行戶口可能俾人盜用。受害人信以為真，根據指示開個新戶口，將原有戶口嘅7萬幾蚊轉咗過去。跟住騙徒再扮公安打俾佢，話開新戶口都唔夠安全，指示佢將啲錢經網上轉帳去一個騙徒嘅戶口。
騙徒就叫佢將個戶口咧，就個版面咧轉做英文。個受害人呢，佢都唔好識點樣運作，咁啊純粹喺個電話裏邊咧聽取騙徒個指示咧，就喺個網上咧就將電話咧將啲錢咧就係入落啲不同嘅戶口。
警方相信受害人被騙嘅款項有2300幾萬，由於騙徒開咗多個戶口，將啲錢轉嚟轉去，增加咗追查嘅難度。至於被捕嘅5個香港人，有4個係喺內地落網。有線電視記者鄧允芝報導。
日本外務省發言人稱。